CUC100 students.
Good morning, Chris.
I'm Chris Hankin. Today I'm going to give you a presentation on Australia's expectations of its Australian Defence Force leaders. Why is this important? Because we are all students at Charles Darwin University. This is one of our core subjects and this is part of our SA4. So therefore I'm going to give you a snapshot and an insight into what I hopefully will be presenting later on into the term. Orientation of this essay. As we know, or may not know, you will now know, employers have expectations of the people that they hire, particularly if they are graduates from a university. Defence also hires university students. In fact, they employ people as graduates. They get them off the civvy strip, so to speak. They pay for their education over at Canberra, at Royal Military College, put them in there for 4 years, and at the end of it, they receive a degree through the New South Wales University of New South Wales. So that's why it's relevant to this subject. Social responsibility. In fact, someone else read that out for me. Can you read that for me?
Social responsibility, communication, and teamwork are important skills in the Defence Force in order to meet society's expectation of its Defence Force leaders.
Exactly. And it's not just defence, it's any industry. Social responsibility is what the society or people, just general people that we work with, expect of us. Communication and teamwork, also crux attributes of workplace citizenship, along with other attributes which we won't go into in this talk because of time constraints. But these are three very important attributes, workplace citizenship, which the Defence requires its members and graduates that they employ to have successfully mastered and be able to deliver upon their fellow soldiers. This is my taxonomy. Apology if the clarity is a little bit blurred for those down the back. But essentially what we have here is my thesis statement. And I've broken the essay down into three topics: social responsibility, communication and teamwork. Now I've used a number of different resources for the benefit of Merrin. I've only used two of the core readings. I've tried to look outside a bit and grab some other interesting information which you may or may not have read. But essentially the format is I've done 3 paragraphs on social responsibility, 3 on communication, and 3 on teamwork. I won't go into too much detail into the taxonomy as we move on throughout the slideshow. I'll go into a little bit more details. But what I have done is, excuse me, walking in front of the screen, I'll just read these out for you, some of them. I've used Carol, who talks about corporate social responsibility. I've got an interesting reference from Defence, actually. It's a Defence magazine, which was a little hard to find. Hopefully I haven't broken any national rules in finding it, but we have found a curler. Also, Langdon, Dwyer, who we should all know, Howe, and others. So I actually like this essay. It's quite good, and this taxonomy lays out a good plan. In fact, the good thing about doing a taxonomy like this is it actually lays out and gives you scope to where you can either dig deeper into each or even veer off into other aspects of each topic. So, social responsibility. As graduates, it is expected that all the leaders, once they graduate, will exhibit this quality. They're trained to do as they're told and to impart the vision of Australia and the government and the people. They have to put aside their personal opinions, so they have to be leaders in terms of fostering equity, diversity, tolerance and acceptance. As leaders, the social responsibility is spread locally and internationally. For example, internationally we've done operations in Rwanda during the 90s when the genocide was happening. We sent in peacekeepers and troops to try and stem the murdering of innocent civilians. Locally, controversially, there was the intervention back in 2010, who Altman notes was political in nature. So whether the intention was pure or more done in order to meet political needs. But the main reason why social responsibility is important as a leader is that you're defending the Australian Constitution. And the Australian Constitution embodies what all people of the country should hopefully hold dear and represents the values. Was that 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Communication is very important. There are 3 types of communication that RMD graduates need to have: verbal, non-verbal and graphic. Now these can be in terms of the defence force leader, can be email, verbal, or it could actually be hand signals. You don't want to be talking when you're in the field of war. Also, they need to communicate the standards which the soldiers need to have and lead by. And other things they need to communicate is safety. And we're not just talking workplace safety, of course that's important, but also safety so that when they're in the field of battle, the soldier's doing what is correct. So if they're loading up a machine gun, they're not pointing the barrel in the wrong direction, they're pointing it at the enemy. Naturally, teamwork, very important, but these skills that the Defence Force leader must have, he has to foster a culture of care, teamwork, so that the team works together, everyone knows what they're doing, and most of all, it creates a good morale. Bad morale in any team will lead to failure every single time. It's like a cancer. And the best thing about teamwork is it can't work unless people accept each other for their differences. They have to all come together, believe and have faith and trust in each other. In conclusion, they're all important. I hope you'll see that I've argued that they are important. Need to do a little bit more research naturally. Any questions, queries or doubtful points from the floor? Be happy to take them. This is my working bibliography. Couldn't fit it into one slide. Here it is. Altman, Carroll, etc. I thank you all. I hope you enjoyed it and have a good morning.